This is the Ninja specialty coffee maker I've been living with for a while, and I wanted to make a video about it because it quietly replaced three things on my counter: my old drip machine, my pod brewer, and a cheap handheld frother. I was chasing variety without clutter, and I didn't want to mess with espresso gear before I've had caffeine. This seemed like the sweet spot between convenience and better coffee. If you've never seen one, it sits right between a basic coffee pod and a full espresso setup. It's not a pressurized espresso machine, and it's not a single-purpose drip brewer. It's for someone who wants a solid cup of drip, a stronger cup when adding milk, a legit over-ice brew, and the occasional latte-ish drink, all from the same machine. Price-wise, it's mid-range, and the performance is very close to dedicated brewers while doing a lot more. What I love most is how it works in real life. Mornings for me are simple. I yank the reservoir off, fill it at the sink, pop it back on, spin the dial to cup or travel mug, choose classic or rich, and go. The removable tank sounds like a small thing, but it saves spills and awkward angles. The multi-serve dial clicks through sizes with a satisfying feel, which I prefer over touch panels when my hands are wet. Taste-wise, Classic gives me a clean, easy cup, the kind of coffee I drink black. Rich slows things down a bit and pulls more body, so when I add a splash of cream, it doesn't turn watery. When I want iced, the over-ice mode brews a stronger, smaller volume right onto ice. It hits the glass hot, melts the ice, and lands at a perfect strength that doesn't taste diluted. I stopped cold brewing by default because this keeps the brightness and aroma I actually like in iced coffee. If you're a cold brew diehard, this isn't that flavor profile. It's brighter, but it's fast and consistently good. Specialty brew is the one people ask me about the most. No, it's not espresso. There's no pump or crema. It's a strong coffee concentrate that works as a base for homemade lattes and cappuccino-style drinks. The fold-away frother on the side is a mechanical whisk. It doesn't heat milk, so I microwave the milk first, then froth it. With whole milk, it makes a thick foam that sits nicely on top. Oat milk works fine if it's a barista version. Regular oat tends to give me big bubbles that fade. Almond milk is hit or miss unless it's a barista blend. Cleanup is easy because the whisk pops off and rinses clean. Using grounds instead of pods is a big deal for taste and for my trash can. Freshly ground beans just taste better. The gold tone permanent filter makes a heavier, fuller cup with a little sediment. If I want a cleaner cup, I drop in a number 4 paper filter and it's crisp. I switch depending on the beans. There's a small scoop docked on the side, and the marks on it actually line up with the brew sizes, so I'm not second-guessing doses when I'm half awake. There are quirks. The glass carafe pours beautifully if I go slow. If I tip it fast, it can dribble down the front. I learned to pour at a shallow angle and it's fine, but I wish the spout was better. The machine makes a light chug-chug pulsing noise during certain brew modes and a little hiss near the end. It's not loud, just not silent. I had the clean light get stuck on once. I descaled with vinegar, ran the full flush, and it still stayed lit. What worked was removing and shaking the reservoir to dislodge the little float that can get bubble-locked, then running another rinse. Since I've been using filtered water and descaling on schedule, the light hasn't hassled me. Also early on, I caught a faint plastic smell for a few first brews. Running a couple full water cycles and a vinegar cycle knocked it out. Compared to what I used before, this beats my old Keurig every single day. Pods were convenient but tasted flat, and I was constantly annoyed by the waste. With fresh grounds and a proper shower head that wets the coffee evenly, the cup has more depth, even on the classic setting. Versus a high-end drip machine like a Technovorm, the Ninja's drip quality isn't quite as pristine or as blazing hot, but it's close enough that I only notice the difference when I brew them back to back. The trade-off is that here I can make a single travel mug without pods, brew over ice properly, and whip up a milk drink without pulling out extra gadgets. I also had a cheap budget drip maker years ago, and the upgrade in flavor and consistency is very obvious. The Ninja feels like stepping into a routine that actually works with what I want to drink on any given morning. What actually matters day to day is pretty simple. It's flexible, so I can go from one cup to a full pot without guessing. Over ice mode makes honest-to-goodness iced coffee that isn't sad and watery. The frother folds away and is painless to clean, and the removable reservoir plus drip stop and front-loading filter basket make the workflow smooth. The machine's SCA certification didn't sell me at first, but in practice, it does brew hot and reliably, which I notice most when I use lighter roasts that can taste weak on mediocre machines. On value, I think it's worth it if you want variety without committing to espresso gear. It replaces multiple appliances while still making a quality cup. If your goal is the absolute cleanest drip coffee and tank-like build, a premium metal brewer might edge it out. If you just want single-serve convenience with zero learning curve, pods still win on pure simplicity. For me, the Ninja sits in a sweet spot. Better taste than pods, more flexible than single-purpose drip, and it keeps my counter sane. Would I buy it again? Yeah, I use Classic on weekdays, rich when adding milk, over ice all spring and summer, and Specialty when I want a latte vibe without pulling a shot. I've learned its quirks, and none of them are deal breakers. If you're thinking about it, plan to use filtered water, descale when it asks, pour the carafe gently, and heat your milk before frothing. Do that, and it's a very easy machine to live with. If you've got questions I didn't cover or want me to test a specific brew style, drop a comment. If this video helped, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Thank you for watching.